Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 10 and see how this particular phone holds up in the later part of 2024. Now, the big thing I will definitely tell you, in my personal opinion, I do think a phone like the iPhone 10 is easily one of the most impactful phones Apple's ever made. Maybe I don't think this phone is still worth buying in this day and age. It's kind of an older phone, and it's definitely, you're coming into its last leg of software, so it's already kind of done getting software support for about 2 years now. So it genuinely doesn't make any sense to go and buy a phone like this. But I will tell you, with the iPhone 10, this phone came out about 7 years ago, and it is kind of interesting how good of a job Apple did with this phone at that time. Now, on the exterior, on the front, you're still getting that 5.8-inch Super Retina OLED display, and it was a very decent panel, at that time. It was actually a very good panel at that time, and I think Apple did a really good job. The first OLED display we had on an iPhone, the first, kind of bigger display we've gotten on a phone like this, and the first notched phone as well. So there was a lot of stuff Apple kind of threw in inside of this phone, and that in and of itself, I think, was a very big difference there. And I was very happy when Apple went through and made a device like this. Lightning port at the bottom, you're getting a standard glass back with a dual camera setup, you're getting wireless charging on the back side of this phone too. And I genuinely do think, in a lot of different ways, Apple did a really, really good job with this type of phone. And when you're going through and you're looking at this type of phone, even when compared in the later part of 2024 against all major flagships that came out, there's a lot of things you can kind of like maybe critique this phone on nowadays. But one thing you cannot critique is basically just the way this phone feels. Like, it still feels like $1,000 phone in so many different ways. So that in and of itself, I think it's a thumbs up for me. Now, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is that with the iPhone 10, it's pretty much done getting software support. So this is pretty much the biggest caveat with a phone like this. It genuinely just doesn't make any sense to go and buy a phone like the iPhone 10 anymore. And the reason for that, like I said, is because this phone is, it hasn't gotten a software update in a long time. So because of that, it genuinely just doesn't make any sense to go and buy a phone like this, because you're already getting a phone that's outdated with software. So I would hate for you to go ahead and buy a phone like this if it's already outdated. And that is kind of exactly what's going on. If you're going to go through and buy this phone, it's already an outdated phone, and I would hate for you to go and buy it because it's already done getting software. So it's done getting software updates, it's done getting software support. So keep that in mind. I love this phone in a lot of different ways, but it genuinely, from that side, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go and buy this one because of that. So keep that in mind too. I would say, though, from a performance side, the performance of this phone is not actually that bad. It still is like a pretty good performing device, which is something I like about this phone. Of course, it's glitchy and it's slow and it's not really the best performing device anymore. But like I said before, I think in situations like this, Apple's done a really, really good job of giving us like a good performing device that has stood the test of time for so many years. Although this would not be the phone I'd recommend people to buy anymore, I do think, once again, Apple did a really good job with this device when it first came out. And I do think in that particular situation, it still is one of those phones that I recommend people to buy in this day and age. I would have recommended people to buy this phone if it was still supported with software. It's just not supported with software anymore, so it doesn't make any sense to buy it, in my personal opinion. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.